Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So once again, we are still here at Subaru C5 Pasig, and I'd like to thank Sir Cliff for making these sets of reviews possible. So having just driven the Subaru WRX sedan, so we go a little bit further back towards the lineup to the entry-level model. So what we have here is the 2025 Subaru Crosstrek GT Edition. So this is actually based off the Crosstrek IL model, since that is the base model. So all of the base models now are equipped with this GT kit. So if you do not want this kit, so you can just simply avail the top of the line IS model. Now actually this is my second take already because I keep messing up the name. So this is actually a Subaru XV, but we get now the Crosstrek nameplate because it's kind of like the global name of this vehicle anyways. So this being the base model, you get a mix of LED and halogen lights, and you get fog lamps, and the looks with this GT Edition kit, yeah, it looks a little bit more aggressive now, and you get even dive flames here, which I kind of like for some reason. The ground clearance without the kit is 220 millimeters, but I think it's not affected that much because if you put this and a IS side by side, so it does not hamper it whatsoever. So kind of like lowers it at around 215, which is still pretty good for this class of vehicle, like a crossover battle wagon. Now on the side profile, it's exactly the same like with every other Crosstrek, but this time you get more aggressive side skirts, and here too you get much smaller 225, 60, and 17-inch wheels because the top of the line has 18-inch wheels, and this is much beefier. This is why I wanted to dive this, since I think this will be more comfortable than that of the IS model. Now pairing this Subaru Crosstrek GT Edition, well, it's exactly the same power unit like what you get in the Subaru Forester. So this is a 2-liter naturally aspirated Boxer 4 engine with 156 horsepower and 197 Newton meters of torque, mated to Subaru's ever-popular lineartronic CVT transmission. So there's not much tweaks here now, despite this being the GT Edition now. But as I've seen with the amount of reviews already about this car, this is one of the best daily Subarus that you can buy out here, besides with the Forester. Now, being this the Crosstrek GT Edition, here at the rear, of course, there's been additional rear bumper kits now. Everything is all silver, a little bit off, despite this being my favorite color. And two, you have additional GT Edition badges over here. And that's primarily it. Usually when it's kitted out units, it's just only exterior bits. But for this, we did something that I like. Yes, being the base model, you have an electronic tailgate. And the boot space here is exactly the same. So you have a total here of 291 liters. And underneath, you get a space saver donut type tire because these are only 17 inches. Extra, I think like cup holders here on either side. And comes as standard, you have a tonneau cover kit, which is very handy. And of course, once you fold all of the seats down, it extends to 1,261 liters, which is actually really good for this class of vehicle. Okay, kind of a bit hard, but hey, at least there's an anti-pinch feature. And for once, being a kitted out version of a regular base model, they did a few more things here in the interior, which I like too. So here in the door card, you can actually see that this is the base because this has the distinct gray cloth material here on the door card, but hilariously you still get the carbon fiber trim like that of the top of the line model. Manual adjustments for the seats, and still tilt and telescopic for the steering wheel. And everything visually here on the dashboard is exactly the same like with the regular Crosstrek. So you get an analog tachometer, speedometer with a TFT multi-information display right in the middle, same old like with other Subarus. Here on the left side, again with the carbon trim, one blank button, you get the brightness for the instrument and infotainment system, headlight leveler adjustment, and addition now too with the electronic tailgate. Same here like with all Subarus, this has Subaru's EyeSight 4.0 infotainment system. So this is an 11.6-inch unit with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and the same Subaru information gubbins. But there's an additional 360-degree camera, which is actually a good addition because like with most of the Subarus I've driven, hence like with the WRX earlier, the camera system only occupied like some parts of the screen, which is a common thing with these vertical screens. But hey, at least now it's more handy now with a 360-degree cam. Further down, you get one of each type A, type C USB port, and two a wireless charging pad. Despite being base model, steering wheel pretty much the same like with the regular Crosstrek. I think this one now is more on the polyurethane side of things. Same sets of controls for your volume and information stuff on the left side, and for your adaptive cruise control and your driving modes here on the right side. So we only have here sport and intelligent modes. And favorite feature of mine, paddle shifters. Can't wait to try this out later on. And here in the center console, you get your usual gear shifter, electronic parking brake, your 360-degree camera button, two cup holders, 8-volt socket, an extra compartment here like for phones, and center console box is actually really good. I mean, it occupies almost half of my armor already. And above here, you can see there's no sunroof, but at least you have your safety reminder still, two halogen lights, visor, ticket clip holder, vanity mirror. Don't extend. And two, now this being the GT edition, you have leather seats because the normal IL model were all cloth only, and these have the GT logos themselves. I am sorry, I'll be very honest with this one. These are just seat covers, but the quality isn't good. I mean, look at all the creases. I think this was just not installed properly. But hey, with the demo unit I am going to drive, it's a little bit better. So I think this is just a supply issue. But if you're lucky to find one that's literally clean, I mean, this is a very nice addition for all of you. Same here goes to for the rear seats. Again, with this leather type of material. Again, the installation is not that good. Look at this here around the seat belts. But in the demo unit we're gonna use, it's much better. But again, it's just down on how this is installed in every car. So here in the door card, pretty much the same like with the regular IL models. This part's all gray, but it's not the cloth type since this part's all now plastic, but it makes up for it. You have triple map pockets behind both front seats, and there's no like two type A USB ports anymore here in the middle and all that. I even forgot if this had air conditioning vents, but judging from that, I don't think it had anyways. And if I sit here in the middle, yeah, but tall transmission tunnel is narrow enough, so it's pretty comfortable to sit here. And you can tell this was the base model if you're only counting as the IL, not as the GT edition. There is no central armrest whatsoever. Dome light here in the middle is halogen, and let's go for a dive. And then here, finally, first dive with this Crosstrek GT Edition. So we have usual two driving modes here, intelligence and sport. Then here, starting off intelligent and flirt a bit. Okay, little bit delayed, but hey, it's a normal car. And two, that's just a forward collision warning doing its thing since, again, as I mentioned earlier, this has Subaru's EyeSight 4.0 system. And remember, this has the X modes since this has a very capable off-road. So the off and on just means there are other driving modes available like mud, snow, sand, dirt, something like that. Try that out soon, hopefully, with the lend out from Subaru Philippines. But here, the other reason why I wanted to drive this Crosstrek GT Edition, because it's like with that of the Forester, it's a nice daily, like a simple point A to B car. You got all the safety features, you got the ground clearance, and two, you get the capabilities of an all-wheel drive vehicle and can literally off-road. And literally, I want to bring this to the Dirt University races, well, rallies rather. Yeah, it's such a nice vehicle, a very comfortable one too. And two, you have the use of paddle shifters if you want to have extra fun with this vehicle. And here, just running around, go a bit faster, like 40, 50 kilometers per hour. Can feel a little bit tire noise, but it's not that much. NVH is okay since you heard just like loud motorcycles going in here into the cabin, but overall it's still pretty much decent. I understand now why this is one of the most popular models along with the Forester here in the Philippines, because I'll keep saying it, it's a very nice car to drive all around actually. And of course, with the security of the all-wheel drive, the handling of this is really good. And actually, just having driven this again after a long time, yeah, the steering may be light, but it's actually responsive and very direct. Of course, not like with the other brand I keep mentioning earlier during the WRX review, but overall, this is actually a very good system. So let's try now, sport mode. Yeah, performance is really decent because 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, you can do it in 10.5 seconds, which is actually okay in today's standards. The performance, the power, the drivetrain, it's exactly the same like what you get with the Forester. But this one's just a little bit more agile on its feet. Hence, this is just like a wagon hatchback back in the day. Yeah, it's a bit more composed now, and like before, it's stable on faster speeds and all that. But throwing this around a bit more into the corners, yeah, this is just slightly more fun. And this is what I missed out driving during the autofocus test drive festival. Just driving this like on a short stint here on the highway around in C5. So just running at 60 kilometers per hour on a good set of pavement. There is not much tire noise. That was my complaint last time when I drove it around MOA, since the pavement there was just a little bit rough. But here on smoother pavement, so if you just want to overtake someone here as such, actually it gets you going. Remember, this CVT, I praised it as one of the best out there because it acts like a regular automatic transmission, and this is just intelligent mode. But so what more of if you leave it in sport mode itself? For this is exactly the same price like what you get with the former base model, the IL. So this one stands at 1,998,000 pesos. Just a little bit more, you can get a Subaru Forester. I think I'd rather have that. But there's one thing as well I did not try out during the test drive festival, but I did with the Forester off camera, is on how this actually handles. Before we do the handling test, let's do manual mode and sport mode. Yeah, again, like before, it's pretty decent performance, and I think almost exactly the same too with the Forester. So if you're after performance, I recommend any of the Forester or the Crosstrek models. But I noticed in highway, it had more stable than usual because, I don't know, because of the less boxy shape, since this being based on a wagon hatchback itself, so you don't have much body roll being thrown around. So with that, let's go to the handling course. So remember, this Crosstrek GT Edition only has one X mode. If you go again for the IS, it has a dual X mode. Literally forgot all about that. But make no mistake, if you're not the hardcore off-roader type of person anyway, this will literally just do the job. And now here's sport mode, and then let's try a handling course a bit. Okay, there's bottling, but again, not so much. Then sway to the right. Yeah, that's actually really good. And remember, this based on again hatchback wagon. Yeah, this is actually a fun car to throw around. And start a U-turn test. This is 4 lanes wide. I used to test out cars here too a lot back in the day, so I know this road from top to bottom. So there you go. One U-turn in 4 lanes is easy peasy. And I like to either in sport or intelligent mode and just leave it automatic. It's really so responsive. Here, sport mode, automatic mode, and then floor it. And the CVT too doesn't feel too rubbery than usual. That's why I praise this as one of the best CVTs literally out there. And for the fuel economy, yeah, it's a Subaru. It's somewhat forgivable, depends on how you literally trust this. So in my test drive alone from Subaru C5 Pasig, round route here to Arcovia and then back to the showroom, it just says you on the tip computer, 12.4 liters per 100 kilometers. I think that is pretty decent since we're just driving around and around. But I know I did during the autofocus test drive festival off camera, I think I can do around 10 kilometers per liter, which I think is really good as long as you're not hooning it like me. So one more time. And brakes, really good too and really solid. Right, maybe a Subaru I should consider in the future. We'll see. Again, I'd like to thank everyone here at Subaru C5 Pasig here to Sir Cliff for making these sets of reviews possible. And oh yeah, I forgot all about that feature. So this has as well, like with the rest of the Subarus, despite being the entry-level model, auto start stop function. So it's very smooth, the transition once it's off, and then you're gonna move and then floor it. Again, hope you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you very soon, and hopefully with more Subaru content coming to the channel. Bye bye.